What's up, guys? Last time I did a video on how to use SketchUp, a lot of people asked me if I could do a few more of those, and since I'm making my router table, I need to design it, so I thought it'd be fun to bring you guys along the trip on designing the table, then building it, and then doing the finishing touches. So the actual router table video will be two videos, and this is just how to design it and a little bit more info on how to use SketchUp and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be a fun way to use it. And you can download mine that I make today here in the description of the router build, which will be next week and the week after, or you can make your own using this, and hopefully you guys pick up a few tips and tricks along the way. So let's go ahead and fire up the computer. Okay, so here I am on the computer, and basically we're having a garage sale in our garage this week too, so it's kind of, I can't really use my tools and then get shavings and sawdust all over the stuff that we're selling, so it's kind of hard to do a project out there, so I do apologize for that, but hopefully you guys find this helpful. So basically I made a quick rough sketch of what this is going to look like, and I got the 2x4s, some kind of half lap I'm going to be doing in here, but I'm actually going to simplify it a little bit for this video. And basically I've pre-measured all the stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and start making this. So I go to my line tool and I go to 24 inches long, because that's how long this is. Now I need it the width and height of a 2x4, which is 3.5 inches wide and 1.5 inches tall. I can set the height using my push-pull tool there. Now on this model, you can see here I have these notched out pieces. Now the easiest way to do this is I want to measure 5 inches in. This is just any distance you want, really. I think 5 inches will give me a stable stand. Now I go 1.5 deep, 3.5 wide, back 1.5. I'll take my push-pull tool, I just drag it down, and I have that notch out there. So now I can go over here, do the same thing, 5 inches, find it, and then do 1.5 inches deep, 3.5 inches, and boom. Once again, push-pull tool, bring it down, and now I have this. Now I'm going to go over here and duplicate it for the same side. Now I want this to be a 34-inch wide table, so I'm actually going to make the stand as wide as the tabletop. So I put a mark here, and I'm going to make a guideline here, 34 inches long, and now I know where I can draw my 24-inch long 2x4, and from here I can go 3.5 inches wide again, and basically rinse and repeat, and I can delete this guideline here, because now I have the width. So now doing the exact same steps I used on the first one, I can go ahead and draw this, and I will skip ahead for you guys. Okay, so now I have both of these stand pieces, and I'm actually going to make my router table the same height as my table saw and the same height as my workbench that I have, because it all works really well for great outfeed tables. That way I don't have to make separate outfeed tables. So for the 2x4, since I have this notch out here, all I have to do is connect the line from here to here and here to here, and I want my table to be 37 inches high, but on the top I'm going to have two pieces of 3/4 inch plywood laminated together, or some type of melamine or something so it slides well. And using the push-pull tool now, I can just go up 35.5 inches, because 3/4 plus 3/4 equals 1.5 inches. So I just subtract that from the total height. Then when I add it on top of here, it's going to be a total of 37 inches. So now I'm going to do the same thing for this side. I just connect this, connect that, and this is the most efficient way I have found of doing this. So 35.5 inches, 35.5 inches, and you can see how quick you can design in this program. Once you get used to it, it's really simple and easy to use, and the great thing about it is it's all free, so you don't have to pay for any wood or anything to make a prototype and see if it works. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the top of the table. So I just made a guideline here. Since it's 5 inches from here to here, I made it 5 inches, so it's the same width, and now I'm going to go ahead and go over 3.5 inches to do another guideline, 3.5 inches, and now I'm aligned directly above here. So from here, the table I set is 24 inches in width and it's 34 inches in length. So now I can just go ahead and connect all of these, and just like that I have the tabletop, and I can delete the two the guidelines that I made. I accidentally deleted that there. And now I want to go ahead and do the 3/4 inch plywood. So for that, I'm just going to go up. So if I did this push-pull right here, I'd have all these holes and I'd have to go back and patch it. So the quickest thing I found is go up 1.5 inches, because that's the total height of 3/4 added together. Go over 34 inches down. And I hope I'm not going too fast for you guys, but it's really, once you get used to this program, it's really quick, and that's what I love about it. It's just so simple to use. It's a really great program to use, and it's free. And I will also include a free download of this in my description for next week's video with the actual router table, because I'm going to have to make some minor adjustments on here. As you build, you might have to make a few minor adjustments in the plans. It's just kind of how it works out. But now this is 1.5 inch thick, so if I just go to the midpoint right here, it automatically does that for me. Now I can just go around the table here and I can connect it, and I want to do this all the way around the table. And when you do this, basically now I have those two pieces of plywood laminated together is what it's given me. So I just connect it, and now I have my two pieces of 3/4 inch plywood on top. So that's pretty simple. Basically, the way I'm going to connect the top to the bottom, I might, actually no, the way I'll connect these is probably just going to be screwing through this board, and then this board will be put on after it's screwed in, and that should hold decently. But then once I make this, if I leave it like this, I need some type of supports to go here, otherwise the table is going to be rocking from side to side really easy. So now what I want to add here is I'm going to go 10 inches from the bottom, which will give my feet plenty of room to go underneath. And when I did this, I want to think about my router. Some people are going to have to make a router lift. In my case, I don't have to, because the router I have right now, it's actually built in on it. It's built into the actual router, like already has like the lift built into the router. It's like part of the router. It's kind of confusing, but that's just the way mine works. So I'm actually really lucky to have that. And so I'll leave a link for a router video, a router lift video build, so that you guys can make your own router lift. But basically what I'm doing now is I'm adding thickness to this piece of wood here. Basically it's going to be a 1/2 inch piece of plywood. So I'm going to go ahead and use my push-pull tool for this. I want this to be a 1/2 inch plywood right here. So I just type in 1/2 inch, and now I have a 1/2 inch piece of plywood. Now from here, I need a 1/2 inch piece of plywood on the sides, and I'll go ahead and do 1/2 inch, and I can connect that from here to here. And you'll see why I'm doing it this way right now, because when you think of this, you have to think of it as how you're actually going to do it when you put it together. So I need I want the plywood to be on the bottom here, and on the sides I want it to just go up like this, if that makes any sense to you guys. And on this back piece, I actually want the back piece to be a full back piece, so I'm going to go ahead and go 0.5 inches, and now I will connect that from there to there. Now I'm going to erase this line and erase this line, and now using my push-pull tool, I want to make this, let's just make it so there's a 1/2 inch on the bottom. I'll go up 11 inches total, so it'll be it's going to be a total of 12 inches high, but I have to add the top piece as well. So considering that, now I'm going to go up, and I'm going to go up 11 inches. 11 inches. And what I like to do is I like to draw these lines here. See how it's just kind of like blank? I like to show where the plywood cuts off and ends. And that's why I did it the way I did it, so that I could see where the plywood meets, and this gives me exact dimensions for my plywood. Now I need to swing around the back, and on the bottom here, I want to mark where, or not on the bottom there, on this back piece right here, I'm gonna go up just a 1/2 inch and over, and this shows me like where my plywood, this bottom piece of plywood is. So I'm gonna do that for all the way around it. This kind of shows me, do you guys get what I'm saying? This shows me like this piece of plywood is the bottom piece. So I want to see that all the way around. So now I'm just going around and I'm connecting it. So now I can see I have this 1/2 inch piece of plywood. And then this back piece is going to cover all of this back area. And now what I want to do is I'm just going to go ahead and go connect from here to here. And now I can go, and actually I'm just going to draw a 1/2 inch up, go a 1/2 inch over, because right now I'm making the top of the box, and basically this box is going to be for storing all of my my router bits and just a bunch of my router stuff and all that. So now I have the top piece, and you can see where all the plywood connects and everything. It makes sense to me, and I have plenty of room for my router here. Some people might want to add dust collection, but if you have dust collection built into your fence up here, a lot of it, I'd say like 80% of it's going to be taken by like a vacuum port from up here, rather than having it caged in down here and having a vacuum port. It's a lot more efficient when you have the vacuum coming right from the fence. So yeah, I'll get a little bit on this here, but it's not hard to take a vacuum and vacuum this off. If you want to like design it, like maybe you could put a bucket here, and then you can just pull this bucket out when you want to, and you can empty the sawdust then. But now I'm going to go ahead, I need a hole in the top of the table, and this part I may buy one of those like Craig things for my router, but I'm just going to make up a hole size right now. I'll do 3.5 inches. That looks a little big, but I'll just leave it for now, because I may buy the insert plate where I just cut like a square and then I just drop the insert plate in, or I could directly mount my router to the plywood / melamine, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do there yet. So I just use push-pull, and I went a little bit farther, so I want to go down 1.5 inches. And now I have a hole in this. Erase that. Now I have a hole in this, and that basically tells me so my router's going to be coming. It's going to mount around the outside of this somehow. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, so I will modify the plans, and when the plans are all done, I'll have it for free download on next week's video. So hopefully the garage sale will be all said and done by then. And the same things for this bottom. I'm going to make some type of drawer system here. I'm not sure if I'm going to use like buckets on the inside and just pull it out, or if I'm going to make a front door on this. Tell me in the comments what you think. I might make a front door on this piece right here, so it's like 2 doors that just swing out. But this piece is really what holds it all together from shaking side to side, and it can just be drilled and screwed in directly into the plywood, or 2x4s on the outside. So this should make for a really strong router table, hopefully. And worst comes to worst, what I could do is I may like build some type of 2x4 framing around this outside, and that might give it a ton more support. So that's actually an idea. Instead of just putting it directly on, I may do like a 2x4 thing around the outside like I would on a workbench. But as for the fence, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. I'll just make up a mock one real quick. I'll just go like, it doesn't even matter how far, 3 inches from the edge. And the fence needs to slide along some type of track. I'll just make it 3 inches thick as well. The fence is going to have to slide along some type of track system, and this stuff I haven't quite figured out yet what I want to do. I want my fence relatively tall, so I'll just make it 4 inches for the sketch, and I'll reconnect these lines here, reconnect these lines. The fence isn't going to be like my drill press table. It's not going to be like that at all. And then I'm going to have some type of port here, so just finding the midpoint. I'm going to have some type of like port for my dust vac and stuff like this. This is just a really sloppy fence, but you get the point of it. So I'm going to do a 1 inch radius, enter, mark, take this out, and just like that you can make your design. Now I want to go ahead and go back 3 inches, boom, and now I have a hole. Now it's obviously when I make the fence, I'm going to make it a lot more detailed than this. I just haven't figured out how I'm going to do that quite yet, but this is the general idea and shape I want for my router table. So from here I can go ahead and take this, select it all, just using the select tool, and taking my paint bucket, I can color it whatever color I want, but that way I don't have to individually do each piece. Last time I thought you had to do each piece in that video. But basically what this does now is I can count out how much material and wood I'll need for this project, and it really helps you save money, and you can design it. You'll see how much wood you need, and then from here I can make like a cut list and a materials list and stuff like that. So now I have a general idea of how much this table will cost and everything. And that's basically about it for today's video, guys. I hope you like this. I'm sorry it is a day late because the first video I made got the recorder I used didn't record the screen correctly, so I switched over to Hypercam. Tell me how you guys like this. Tell me if you guys want to see more videos like this, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Tell me what I can do better next time if I do more videos like this, because I really am trying to make you, the fans, happy. So tell me what I can do better, and I'd really appreciate that. Tell me what I did good. And that's about it for today. So next week we will be back in the shop working on this, and I'll probably have a 2-part video for this router table. It will probably be, first part's going to be like the main 2x4 skeleton frame and maybe this part, and the second part will be the top attaching the router and whatnot like that. So that's it for today. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to my channel. I'm usually in a workshop, not a computer, but I hope you guys like this video, and I will see you guys next Tuesday out in the shop.